Welcome to What's Going On, the weekly podcast and videocast of First United Methodist Church in Yankton, South Dakota.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of What's Going On. I'm Pastor Katie here at First United Methodist in Yankton, South Dakota, and I'm glad you could join me for this episode. This week, I would like to talk a little bit about some of the fun things that we've been doing at the church, along with some of the fun things that we have coming up. I tell you what, this fall, I just feel like since August hit, I've been running with so much happening. And I don't know if it feels extra this year just because of where we were the last couple of years, being a little more closed down than we had been. And now we're kind of up and going. And I just feel like I've been running from thing to thing and place to place. And it's really good and it's really exciting, but it's also just wow, like how is it already almost Halloween? Like it just feels like things have been going so quickly because we've had so much going on. And again, I'm just so grateful for that. This past week, the big thing that happened was Soup Kitchen that finally came back after a couple of years of hiatus. It came back in a little bit different form than it had been. We did evening from 4:30 to 7, and we just did the Soup Kitchen. We didn't do the country store with it this year. And if you were not here for that, you missed out. Like normally I want to always like spin things and like it was great, it was awesome. It was great and it was awesome. And it was so fun to see so many of you here and to meet so many people in the community who were just so grateful to have it back. It was awesome. It was just, the church was packed. It was lively. The food was delicious. The pies looked amazing. I got to stand and greet and meet people. We had a beautiful day for it. It was just, it was soul filling and soul giving in a way that I think many of us have been longing for. A little taste of, things that have been, that can be again. And even though they might shift and change and form, what was really important was the connection, was the people, was there is something about sharing a meal together, and and I loved the long tables. My family sat in between other families and across the table from other families because literally there was one spot that had 4 chairs for us to sit in. And so we got to know some different people in the community by doing that. And it was just wonderful. Like I came home from that exhausted, but also just like flying high. Like our church came together, we served together. I watched our people be so hospitable and welcoming and kind, and just what a great event. And it just makes me super proud of our church, super proud and thankful for the people who really took it on and said, I know we haven't been doing it. Let's figure out a way to bring it back. Dolores in particular, and the team that she put together, God bless all of them. All of them. They did hard work, and it's fun to have it back. We did have some feedback on, there were people that missed having the country store. And so, if you have ideas to help take it to the next level, let us know as we think and kind of review what happened, all the good. And we, we're always looking to make those kind of events better. But here in that it will be coming back again. So the other thing that I did yesterday actually was drive our church van over to Tyndall with a lot of your donations from the Clean Out Challenge. I first let the Gilmores go through it, and they picked out things for Habitat for the Restore, or that needs that Habitat has for Habitat for Humanity. And then they also took items to take out to White Swan. White Swan is a community that's Native American, and they experienced some flooding a few years ago. And it's just been a really hard thing to kind of build back that infrastructure and get back on their feet. And so Tom and Jane have been really wonderful at kind of going out there and trying to meet some needs where they can. And so this was an opportunity for us as a church to do that. And then whatever those places didn't need, we took over to Tyndall, to the bargain shop. And the reason, and I want to talk a little bit why I chose to do that rather than just take it over to Goodwill. Goodwill is a great place to, if you have stuff that you don't want and you want to get rid of it and not kind of think about it, Goodwill is, and I donate to Goodwill. But Goodwill turns around and sells their things, and it's still a company. It's still for profit. They do a lot of good things, but I'm always looking for ways to kind of give back to the local economy, the local community. And some people in the church were telling me about the bargain shop in Tyndall. We have some people in our church that are from Tyndall that we have connections there. And the bargain shop is a nonprofit. And they they're run by volunteers, and whatever profit that they make, they donate back to not only Tyndall, but to other communities in the area. And so I was on their Facebook page the other day. I was trying to find out when they were open and when they took donations and things. And there were a series of thank you notes from the libraries of all of these small communities in the Yankton area, that the bargain shop had donated $1,000 to each of the libraries through what they brought in their shop. And I loved that. I loved how they were giving back to the communities, supporting our small communities. And I really felt like that seemed in line with our mission as a church, not so much to line the pockets of, CEOs, but to put books on the shelf, to help keep libraries open and a place for people to go. And so they were wonderful and sweet. And that place is packed out. Not only is it full of incredible stuff, but it's also full of people. Like I'm not surprised at what they are able to give out after seeing just how popular it is. And so if you've never gone there and experienced that, I encourage you to do so. I was very intentional of not really looking around too much because, of course, we had just completed the clean out challenge. I had just cleaned out some stuff. I didn't want to then replace it right away with more stuff that I probably don't need right now. But if you are in the market for something and you want to look secondhand, if you have the ability to go to Tyndall, I'd highly encourage you to do so. And thank you for participating in the Clean Out Challenge. I have a thought about doing maybe once every 6 months a generosity drive at the church, where again, we just kind of give you the excuse, the opportunity to get rid of some of the stuff that, again, because our stuff can really hold us down. It can hold us back. And give it away to the people who could really use it. And maybe that's something that we can do and make a habit and a value in our church. And so if that's something that seems interesting to you, if you think, yeah, that's a great idea, we should definitely do that as a church, let me know. I would be happy to put that on the calendar, make it happen. And I was thinking it would coincide maybe with spring and fall clean outs and things like that. So what else has been going on? Soup Kitchen was huge. This coming Sunday, applications are due for leadership team. We do have a couple applications in. We still are looking for some more people to apply. Again, the areas that are open, one for SPR, one for trustees, one for finance, and then lay leader. Here's what I'm going to do. If nobody applies for lay leader, I'm going to just ask and talk to our current lay leader to see if he would like to re-up. I'm not saying that to give it an out, but I also want to be forward and upfront about how I'm going to handle that. So currently our lay leader is Dan Johnson. If nobody applies, I'm going to give him first opportunity to re-up in that role. And the same is going to go for our annual, excuse me, I have the hiccups. The same thing is going to go for our annual conference delegates. If we have no one who's applying, who's interested in doing that work and being a part of the annual conference and decisions that are made at that level of the church, I'm going to approach those who have been delegates in the past if they would like to do that again. And so I would really like for there to be applications available. And again, if you are a member of the church, you are encouraged to apply. If this is something that's interesting to you, if this is something you have a passion about, we would like you to be a part of it. Please don't let the application scare you off. It's not difficult. It's not lengthy. It's just your way of being able to show that you have thought about it, that you're going to be intentional about it. Because again, we have a smaller group of people doing this work. And so we want to make sure the people that are doing it are committed, that they are willing to do the work, willing to show up and be a part of what's happening in the church. And so again, due on Sunday. And we say that because then we need to review the applications, get that before leadership team, before our charge conference. Our charge conference is scheduled for Thursday night, November 10th at 6:30. And that'll be here at the church with our district superintendent, Rebecca Treves. And so that is where we will vote. Because ultimately our slate for leadership team and our slate for the delegates to annual conference are not official until the church votes on them. And so that's it's important for you to come to those things. And also it's a great opportunity to come to ask Rebecca questions about the church, about the future of the United Methodist Church, about where our conference is, those kind of things. She'll be available to answer those kind of questions. And so please mark that on your calendar and make sure you can come to that. Next week, we've got some really exciting things happening. On Wednesday is Trunk or Treat. I love Trunk or Treat. And so that changes our Wednesday night scheduling a little bit. And so at 5 o'clock, you can come eat. I believe that we're having walking tacos. At least I heard that through the grapevine. That doesn't mean I know for sure that that's what it is, but that's what I've heard. And walking tacos are like some of my favorite things on earth. So worth coming to that. 5:30 will be worship instead of 6:05, which is at 5:30. That's not confusing at all. We're going to be having worship 5:30 to 6:15. And then you're invited to go down, finish decorating your vehicle, and at 6:30, Trunk or Treat starts. We are partnering with two other churches. So Trinity Lutheran, the Burger King Church, as we affectionately like to call it, and UCC Church are also sending vehicles to be a part of our Trunk or Treat and their families and kids to come. And so we want to make sure that we have a full parking lot, and we've put it out on the radio. We put it out in the community to invite people to come. We want this to be just a blessing for people. So if you want, you can donate candy. If you're not going to do a vehicle, maybe bring in some extra candy for those who do have vehicles so that we all have enough. And just come be a part of it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And Wednesday night is the final night of the sermon series for those who worship on Wednesdays. So that means getting your estimate of giving card in. We're going to be doing that as part of the worship service. So we want you to bring that with you. And you can also do it online. And we'll still participate in that part of the service, but we're going to really lift that up to God. We're going to give that up to God and ask God to bless our intentions and bless the gifts that we give. And so you can either bring that on the 26th if you are a Wednesday night worshiper, or you can bring it on October 30th if you are a Sunday worshiper. So Wednesday nights, this Wednesday night, the 26th, there's not going to be 6:05 because of Trunk or Treat. There's not going to be confirmation. You guys are helping with Trunk or Treat. Our youth group is going to be helping with Trunk or Treat. So everything's kind of, we're kind of just moving things around a little bit so that we can, as a church, do this as for the community and partnering with other churches. So I'm really excited about that. And then the very next day, Thursday, the 27th, is the Habitat for Humanity Great Bowls of Fire Chili Cook-Off. That's going to be over at the Archery Center. They've invited a bunch of different businesses, different, I think, groups to have teams to make chili. And then you come and you pay an entrance fee, and then you get to go around trying everybody's chili. and then voting for the best. And I'm not going to try to influence you unduly, but we do have a team. And our chili is going to be the best. I'm not in charge of making the chili, which is why I can be so confident in that. But come down, be a part of it. It's a fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity. It is work that we really believe in here at the church. We really love to partner with them any way that we can. And it's also just an opportunity to have fun and be out in the community. So come look for us. We will have matching aprons that have our logo, the cross and flame, on them. So if you don't recognize me in an apron, you'll know me by the cross and flame. But that's happening Thursday, October 27th. Again, it's a fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity, and we want to be a part of it. And so we're going to do that, and that's going to be great. And then, like I said, 30th is the final day. You can turn in your estimate of givings after that, and you can do it online after that. But again, we want you to do it and to come and be a part of worship with it, because our giving is a part of our worship. Our giving is a part of our discipleship. What we choose to do with that and partner with God in that matters. And so we want to treat it that way. And so we want you to be intentional about bringing your items then. So yeah, what else? There's just, like I said, I feel like I've just been running. Ushers, we need ushers for Wednesday nights. Lately there is a sign-up sheet in the kind of narthex is a very churchy word, in that area right before you come into the sanctuary. There's a sign-up sheet out there for ushering. And if you would like to do that, but you don't know what it involves, just come talk to me or stop by the office and we'll kind of give you a little training. It's not difficult work, but we really do need people that are intentionally going to be doing that work on Wednesday nights, because we do have people here and we need someone to hand out bulletins. We need someone to acolyte. We need someone to count how many people are here in worship. To welcome people that are coming in maybe a little bit late and making sure they feel welcome and know where to go and have what they need. And so please consider it. It's not difficult work, but important work. And yeah, God is good. God is good. I really feel like we are on the right track, that God is blessing the efforts that we're doing, that this church is we're finding our way. We're headed toward we're moving, and it's good, and I'm grateful, and I'm excited about what's coming up. After this series on Defying Gravity, we're going into Finding God, Finding Faith in movies, and where I'm picking movies that you have suggested. And so I'm excited about that. And thank you all for the great movie suggestions. I've got movie ideas now for many weeks to come. So I think with that, I'm gonna sign off for the week. Last week we had an extra long episode, and so this week we'll keep it a little bit shorter. But as always, if you're ever interested in something in the church, would like to know more about it, would like to visit with me about anything going on in our church or the larger United Methodist Church, I'm always happy to visit with you. I'm happy to do that. I'll take you out for coffee. I will do any of that. So please never hesitate to reach out and say hi and ask your questions. So until next time, God bless. Thank you for joining us for this episode of What's Going On, a podcast of First United Methodist Church in Yankton, South Dakota. We'd love to have you join us for worship on Wednesday nights at 6:15 or Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. You can also worship with us online at firstumcyankton.org or find us on YouTube.